Hi everybody, it's Ash here from the Conscious Jungle. I'm a little bit early before 5, but I was standing here ready to go, so figured let's get started. I'm ready if you are. Excuse me, what am I doing tonight? I am going to get straight into making a dough for some flour tortillas. The Choy Bau, which is an Asian style mince that you serve in lettuce cups. Has a lot of downtime within that recipe. So I thought I'd use that time just to do a little bit of lunchbox prep while I'm here in the kitchen chatting to you guys. So because of my lighting, you can't see my screen, which makes it a little bit difficult, but I'm just playing around here with my Thermomix, going into my recipes. Just 1 second, sorry. Boys, can you all just keep it down a little bit? Staying in there, lower the volume. Sorry. Thank you. So yeah, I'm playing around here and I've just clicked on flour tortillas and I've said start cooking. So what it's asking for first up is 500 grams of baker's flour. You can use any flour you like for this recipe. You don't have to use baker's flour. If you're going to use a gluten-free flour, sorry, I'm looking around for my measuring cup for my flour and I can't find it. Here's it's in my other flour. We use a lot of flour in this house, so I'm going to put this flour away and just use the one that I had on out earlier. If you are using a gluten-free flour, you will need to add some xanthan gum or something like that because you need to help bind it together. So the great thing about my Thermomix, this TM6, is it's actually scaling it up for me. So at the moment it says 350, now it says 440. And we're looking to get right up to 500 grams, which we are now at. Next thing is a teaspoon of salt. Get my teaspoon out. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then what we're going to do is put our lid on and it's just going to mix that up just for 10 seconds. Quietly, just combining those dry ingredients. Hey, Roo, can you keep it down, please? Because I can sure hear you. All right? Yes, Mum? Thanks, mate. So that's just mixed. Not that you can really tell much, but it's just mixed that so that our rising agent, our baking powder, and our flavor agent, our salt, is mixed through that flour nicely. So putting on my jug, I've just clicked tear. So now we're going back to 0. I've got 3 boys that are not listening in the background. Take 2, hang on a sec. I've called in for assistance. I've sent in the big guns. They're getting in trouble. Okay, so 80 grams of light olive oil or grapeseed oil, anything of your choice with the oil. And 250 grams of warm water. I always like to just go straight to my kettle for this part. It's just a really easy way to, you know, most kettles in most households are always pretty warm. And then I'm going to click next, and that's just going to knead for 2 minutes. So what we've got going on here is the Thermomix is mixing up all those wet and dry ingredients. That is the equivalent of me standing here for 10 minutes and hand kneading. So 2 minutes, 10 minutes of hand kneading. So for me personally, knocks out a bunch of time and a bunch of arm workouts. So, you know, you need to find other ways to get those arm workouts into your lifestyle when you have a Thermomix. So the other thing that we're going to do tonight is Choy Bau, which is, like I said before, an Asian-inspired mince. Using some pork. So I've got some pork loin fillet and I'm going to mince that up. So one of the other great things about having the Thermomix is you don't always have to have the exact cut of meat. Say if you did have a pork roast, you can slice that up and then mince that one. I did a similar type of recipe a little while ago where we made some Asian nachos. So this mince is super versatile. We're going to have it in lettuce cups tonight. With some cucumber and roasted peanuts and things like that. Some other ways you can have this dish is with rice, noodles, You can make it as a wonton filling or a dumpling filling. I wrote it down what else you can do with this mince. You can use it for your Asian nachos. Yeah, heaps of different things. It's just a really nice base recipe. 30 seconds to go on our wrap dough, and then what I'm going to do is set that aside for 10 minutes to let the glutens in the flour relax, and then that will make it a lot more pliable as a dough. So I'm actually going to wrap it up in this fancy thing. This is a silicone bread mat, baking mat. It can go into the oven, and it's non-stick, so I just find it saves a lot of washing up bowls, a lot of oil, because you have to oil your bowls, so it just really reduces single-use things. So here's our dough. A little trick when you've got a Thermomix, I'm just going to scooch it down, is tip it upside down and give those blades a little whirl and a jiggle, and check that out. Neat as a pin. So then I'm just going to push it all into a bowl, wrap it up, don't throw everything about while I'm doing it, set that aside, and we'll come back to that one soon. So I'm going to cancel out of my flour tortilla recipe and then go back to my week, which this is all cookie dough. This is a thing called cookie dough, which is built into a Thermomix, and it gives you access to over 70,000 different recipes that are guided, so you can just click next and follow the recipes. And it also gives you access to meal planning. So I might forget what it was that I had organized for dinner tonight, but I can just go into my week to tonight, and it's gonna keep me on the straight and narrow and tell me what it is that I actually had planned for dinner. So I'm going in with my pork loin. I'm just gonna put half of that in, and we're gonna mince that up. So pork loin in, lid on, and that's just gonna mix it up. Oh, I have to turn it. My bad. Hey Tash, you love Choy Bau as well. Did I spell it wrong? I think I spelled it B-A-U. My bad. I'm just gonna give that one another turbo chop. Hang on a sec. Yeah, that will have got it. So the reason we don't do the whole lot in one go is we don't want to overpower our machine. So it is a very powerful machine, but look, it's still got some limitations. So that is all minced up in there quite nicely. And it says to put it into another bowl, but this chopping board here is already porky. So I'm gonna go put that there. And you can have a look at see, didn't really look super mincy before, but you can tell the consistency of that is definitely minced compared to that one. So I'm gonna go in with my last lot. Ooh, did you see that? I just threw it and it stuck to the side. And we're gonna mince that one up as well. Turbo chop. And because I know the other one needed 2 turbo chops, I'm doing it twice. Okay. Open sesame. Alright, it said to transfer it to the side, but I knew that was going to happen. It wanted me to take it out and then add in my oils and then put it back in, so I'm not doing that. I'm just going to give my hands a rinse. Okay, so we're going to add in 10 grams of sesame oil. I freaking love sesame oil. Seriously, it just elevates every dish to the next level. 10 grams of peanut oil or grapeseed oil or any other oil of your choice. I don't have peanut oil, it's just I don't have peanut oil. I've already got the 250 grams of pork in there. Taking out my measuring cup and putting on my splash guard, because what we're about to do is we're going to do a high heat. It's going to take about 7 minutes, and what that is it's a new function of the TM6, because a lot of people were really missing out on those pan juices with the older style of Thermomixes because they didn't get to the higher temperature to brown the meats and get the juices extracting out and sealing the meat. So this one now does, so you don't have to miss out on those delicious pan juices anymore. So that's gonna brown for 7 minutes. Michelle, you love sesame oil too. It is everything. I couldn't have said it better myself. Let me see what, Tash, I only read half of your thing. What is it? My bad. One of your clients' faves and your girl loves it too as a good low carb option. It's totally a good low carb option, absolutely. Unless you do what I suggested earlier and put it with noodles and rice and things like that and just use that mince. But serving it with the lettuce cups, perfect low carb option. What we're gonna do while that's, actually, it's just started. I've got a big old jar. You're on a selfie stick in a jar full of coins, so you're quite heavy. If I take you right over here, lower you down and then stop talking for half a second if I can, you might be able to actually hear the sizzle. I'll be quiet. Can you hear the sizzle? Was I quiet enough? I can smell it. It smells like pan juices already. Okay, I'm back. So we're just going to step on over here, over to the old faithful spot. I'm going to grab my flour tortilla dough. Look, it hasn't been resting for 15 minutes, but I never listen. I never follow the rules, so all right. So this is not anything to do with our Choy Bau. This is just me knowing that I'm in the kitchen for this amount of time and I'm just gonna make the use of the fact that I'm here. So I'm gonna do some meal prep because my kids love wraps in their lunchbox, flour tortillas, and because we live a minimal waste lifestyle, it's not something that I purchase from the shop pre-made because of the packaging and the little gel sachets that are in there. So my personal choice is that I just make them. Tash, a selfie stick genius, you're still using your Glen 20 can. Don't knock it if it's still working, seriously. It's just that my jar is ridiculously heavy because it's filled with 5-cent pieces. All right, so what I'm doing here is I've just grabbed my lump of dough and I just roughly break it into half, and then I just keep pinching off that amount roughly, and then I roll it into little balls. So just keep on doing that until you've sort of got some whatever amount that you want. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller. It is entirely up to you. The recipe suggests that this makes about 16 wraps. And I'd say that's about right. What have I got? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so I generally make them about 15 wraps. So it's pretty basic from here. Just roll your little balls and then just pop them out the way. I need a little bit of flour. So I do still use the flour on my baking sheet because it's quite a sticky dough, but check that out, like it's so pliable. Such a lovely dough. And then it's really simple from here. I just kind of make a ball and then I flatten it and then I start rolling them out. Roll them out as thin as you can. This principle, once you get this down, and you get into the habit of making wraps and things like that, the same principle follows through for making naan breads, roti breads, and so on and so forth. Making pasta and lasagna. I really enjoy rolling and doing all that sort of thing. So this is something that I really enjoy doing with friends. So quite often I'll have wrap dates, is what we call it, with my fellow Thermomix friends. And we'll get together, the kids have a bit of a play, and we will do batches after batches of wraps, and then we know that we're good for the week. All right, before I start cooking that one, I'm gonna pause and come back. So let's go back and check out our Choy Bau. Taking you on a virtual tour of my messy kitchen. So that says it's got 2 minutes left, but hey, I break the rules all the time. I'm just gonna stop cooking because I can smell that that's smelling pretty good. We're going to scrape down the sides, scrape down the bottom, making sure that nothing is stuck. And then we're gonna go in with our remaining pork mince, and we're gonna do that whole process again. of browning it. So I've put on my lid, and then that's going to go for another 6 or 7 minutes. And come back over here, and we'll actually start cooking some wraps. Okay, so I've got my fry pan on. I've put it on high for the moment just so I can get the heat up to where I want it to be. My little trick with wraps, tortillas, roti and all that sort of thing is once you cook them, I like to keep them moist and sort of sweat them a little bit. So how I do that nice and easily is I get 2 dinner plates and I pop them down there, and then I get a fresh tea towel. Does anybody else in Cardinia have their kids go to kinder? Like I know Bunyip Kinder has these awesome tea towels that they get as a fundraiser every year. So just thought I'd shout out to those that have those awesome tea towels in their household. So I just pop the tea towel there, but underneath the 2 plates, and that is my little sweating section for my wraps. And then this is where you just start to get your zen on, and you're just going to start rolling and frying. Yep, that's nice and hot now, so I'm just going to turn it down a little bit. I like to tap off a little bit of extra flour there. And it's a kind of like the pancake rule. Don't expect miracles from your first one. It's always me that eats the first one, likely. So while that's cooking on the side there, I just start rolling out and getting ready for my next one. You don't need to see my face. Let's look at what we've all come here for. Does anybody else make bread products? I find I go on and off. So some weeks I'm whipping up bread products left, right and centre, and then other weeks I don't. It's nice to support the local bakery at times as well too, rather than making everything yourself. So what we can see, I'm going to take you off the selfie stick for a sec. You can see we've got some bubbles starting here. Like I said, this is the first one, so don't expect miracles. And I'm just going to flip that over. First one's always the test one. And the process continues. So it's just going to be me standing here unless you guys want to chat to me. There's 16 people on here. Tell me what's cooking at your house for dinner. Do you make flour tortillas? Is it something that you've thought about making but haven't made before? Do you reckon you might now get some friends around and start making them? It's a really enjoyable thing to do with a friend. It brings back nostalgic memories of cooking in the kitchen with Grandma. There's a song about that, isn't there? Alright, so that's starting to bubble up again. I'm just going to flip it back over. Hey Elise, chicken vindaloo and cauliflower rice. Oh, cauliflower rice, we haven't had that in ages. Cauliflower rice is another great low carb option and made really simple. When you've got a Thermomix, you can just buy a big head of cauliflower, whiz it up in the Thermomix and cook it in the Thermomix using our layered system. So really opens up a lot of doors for you and variety in your kitchen. Sure has for me. So that is ready. I'm going to open up my plate, my steaming system. These are what I call my wrap fingers. I don't use tongs because I find that I break them if I use tongs. So you just start to get your wrap fingers. And here's another one, tap off the flour and in we go. And that's it. That's how we're just going to lower that down. The process continues. I like to try and have 2 or 3 rolled and ready to go. And then the process continues. I think I can smash out 15, 16 wraps in about 20 minutes. So yeah, while you're in the kitchen and the Thermomix is doing all the work over there for dinner, it makes sense for me to be over here doing a little bit of something for lunch tomorrow. Being smart with your time. What is it? Work smarter, not harder. So you can really see over here now, excuse my hand, that's what we're looking for. See how that first one was really the test? It was the test pancake or the test tortilla. So now we've really got some bubble going on over here. And that's just going to be delicious. Michelle's got some veggies roasting at the moment, you're getting ready to set up the cafe for reopening. Biddy Martha's in Bunyip. If anybody hasn't been, I highly recommend you do. It's such a lovely cafe, beautiful food. Recommend every single thing on their menu. Oop. I just folded that one over while I was busy chit-chatting. Okay. Do these stay pliable? Yes. So Michelle, that's why I do the sweating. The sweating is what keeps them pliable. I leave them on my bench for 48 hours, like in the sweated container, and then after that I refrigerate them. Once you refrigerate them, they're not pliable any longer. But at that point, they're perfect for pizzas, using as a pizza base. Brushing a little bit of oil on them and turning them into flour tortilla chips, so you can then serve them with hummus and things like that. So what I'm going to do is, our Thermomix is over there beeping at us, ready to go. So I'm just going to wait until this one's ready, flip her over, take the pan off the heat, and I'll come back to it once we've got our Choy Bau. I love how they puff up as well, Tash. It's a joy. Let's be honest, it's just a joy. So that one's ready to flip. You don't want your pan too cold, because the longer they stay on one side, that's when they're not pliable, if they've been in the pan for too long. So it really does take like 1 or 2 to get that. And concentration. Chatting to you guys, I'm not fully concentrating on my wrap. Like I said before when I first started, it's time to get in the zen. When I'm doing wraps, I'm just going through the motions, and it all comes second nature. So that one's nearly done. So there we went. We got 3 wraps done in that time that our mince was browning. Let's scoop back over here. Okay. Next step. Oh, that smells so good. You can see that high heat, that temperature is really done the trick. There's pan juices in there that you're not going to miss out on. All right, it wants me to set it aside. Garlic, ginger, chop that up. Fresh shiitake mushrooms, peanut oil. All right, I'm going to get my serving bowl. Crash, bang, because that's how I roll. So I'm just going to pop that into my thermal serving bowl, which is another fabulous little bit of something that you can get from Thermomix. And it keeps your hot food hot, like roasting hot, for 2 hours. And it keeps your cold food cold, like frozen, for 2 hours. So really fabulous. My phone's ringing over there. Okay, so in with our garlic and our ginger. I'm very unorganized. I don't have fresh ginger, and I don't have fresh garlic at the moment. So just going in with my paste. And then it says chili flakes, but nobody in this house is going to love me anymore if I put chili flakes in, so we're going to skip that. I put 4 spring onions in. Wants me to whiz it all up, but it's already whizzed because it's minced and I sliced, so that's no bother. 100 grams of shiitake mushrooms. I don't have shiitake, I've got Swiss brown. You could use cup, you could use button, whatever. Make it your own, whatever you've got. It's asking for 10 grams of peanut oil, just a little dash, another 10 grams of our precious sesame oil, because that makes everything taste so good. Now we're putting our lid on, and that's going to cook for 2 minutes. I probably should have taken my pan off the heat now, because we've got 2 minutes that we can go, ooh, I hope nobody's got vertigo. Because you might now. Let's cook up another wrap while we're waiting for that. I can shut this cupboard door. Very exciting for all the cafes to be reopening tomorrow. If you're watching this Guide to Cutting Your Cooking series, chances are you're a foodie yourself. So very exciting that we can all start to go out and experience food from all of our favourite places and dine in. Let's be honest, it's not the same unless you dine in. It's been fun supporting people while they've been able to do takeaway, etc. But being able to take that time out, be in the cafe, in the space, in that social interaction is just really next level. I don't have much else to say, guys. Oh dear. When I make wraps, I get very quiet. It's a bit like the pasta. Where's my wine? So that one's starting to puff up as well on the side there. A little bit more flour. So another thing that I've done in the past, which, I'll be honest, my kids weren't a massive fan, but I was a fan. I had a little bit of spinach, like 50, 60 grams of spinach left over in the bottom of my fridge. It was beyond being edible as fresh spinach. So when I made the wraps, at that first point where I mixed the raising agent and the flavor agent, salt and baking powder, in with the flour, I put in the spinach and I mixed that up too and chopped it all up in. And it made these beautiful spinach flour tortillas, and they were green and delicious. So kids weren't a fan because they were green, but I thought they were great. I would definitely do it again. So you can use anything else to colour them as well. You know, you could put a little bit of grated beetroot in as well and make some pink or purple tortillas. Yeah. The world is your oyster when it comes to experimenting in the kitchen. That's done using my little wrap fingers. I'm just going to turn that down low. Make sure you put your plate on to sweat them. Ready for the vertigo, and we're back. So that is our, ooh, you're very close. Just take a step back, social distancing please. This is our mushroom and our spring onions, garlic and ginger. Here we've got our roasting hot pork mince. Let's go in with that and all of those awesome juices. Putting our splash guard back on. And now we're going to high heat, excuse me, we're going to high heat that all together for 3 minutes. All right, everyone close your eyes. Vertigo. I'm having fun swinging yours around like that. And we're back for our next tortilla. So these tortillas are great for lunch boxes, great for chicken, salad wraps. You can use them to make like a Mexican lasagna as well, using a taco mince and layering up the tortillas with cheese and taco mince. When they have got to the point where they're no longer fresh and super delicious as a lunchbox fresh item, then you can use them as pizza bases, rub a little bit of oil on them and turn them into chips for hummus, tzatziki, and all of that other goodness. What was the red capsicum? Hang on. What was the red capsicum, Shell? I've forgotten. I've already forgotten. Oh, red capsicum for the flavoring of the tortillas. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. Oh, look at this one. This is too pretty not to share. Look at all those little bubbles. Looks like a puppet fabulous. Tash, you like to dehydrate veg and turn it into powder and add it to doughs. Nice. That would definitely help it last longer as well. And probably mix the colour in a lot better as well, wouldn't it? Yeah, these are one of my favourite pizza base recipes. Like I said, I keep them on the bench for about 3 days, 2 to 3 days, and then I pop them in the fridge, and they seem to be good for about 2 weeks in the fridge. Come Friday night, because normally Monday's the day that I do Monday wrap days. So come Friday or the weekend, normally we're all a little bit overcooking. Everyone's wanting something, you know, yummy, and pizzas hits the spot for everybody. And everyone can choose their own toppings, which makes for happy children when they get to choose what's in. Yeah, for the colouring for the tortillas. Sorry, Michelle. I lost my own train of thought. Who's running this cooking show anyway? Oh dear. It's the first day of winter. I need a little bit of slack cut on the first day of winter. Slack cut and a nap. So it just really becomes this fine art, this making of the tortillas. You know, you roll one, you flip one, you squash one. You get patriotic with your shapes because who can roll a perfect round circle? I sure as heck can't. Oh, this apron is slipping. Everybody hear my Thermomix singing to me in the background? Ready for some love and attention. I don't know if you can see that. See all that sweat dripping on here? So it really does sweat out the tortillas and just keeps them so fresh and pliable. All right, everyone, close your eyes. It's vertigo time. Back to station number 2. Back up. So we're going to scrape down. Let's have a little look. So that is our, ooh, it's a bit steamy. That is our mushrooms, our garlic, our ginger, our spring onions, our pork. Just giving a little scrape down. The next thing we're going to add in is some, it says caster sugar, 15 grams. I don't have caster sugar, I only have raw sugar in this house. So that'll have to do. Just giving a little bit of sweetness. 20 grams of soy sauce. I just adore how the Thermomix scales up for you. It's just so time saving. Takes out a lot of pressure and having to use all of these different spoons. So I've gone in with 15 grams of sugar, 20 grams of soy and 35 grams of oyster sauce. It says 15 grams of rice wine vinegar. I don't have rice wine vinegar. I just have plain old vinegar, so I'm just going to do a little bit of splash of that. Not too much because it's quite strong. And some sea salt to taste. And we all know the more salt the better because salt really just brings out the flavour in everything. Now we're going to put our lid on and our mixing lid in. And that's going to go for 1:30. I might go and get my iceberg lettuce out of the fridge. Give us a sec. For those of you that go to the grocery store and stuff, I really highly recommend you get some produce bags. If you've got anybody that's just upgrading their house and taking down their old lace curtains, grab some lace from them and just whiz up some produce bags of your own. They don't need to have a drawstring on them. It's just not necessary. So I'm just going to take out the 2 outer leaves for my chickens because they love that stuff. That one too. And then you're looking for a big leaf, like so. I'm going to give all these a wash, and then you're just going to put your mince in there. You can wrap it up and it kind of turns into like a little tortilla on its own. And that's got 25 seconds. So again, you guys can't see my screen, but I've just clicked on the 3 dots up the top and I've asked to check the recipe details. So at any point while you're doing a guided Thermomix recipe, you can actually go in and check the recipe and see what's coming next, which I really like. So it gives you that cookbook feel to it. You're not stuck thinking, well, what am I going to do next? You can go in and figure that out. And what we're doing next is nothing because that's it, done. I'm going to finish cooking up my flour tortillas. I think I've got 6 left, so really if I wasn't chit-chatting I would have got them all smashed out, I'm guaranteed, because I would still be doing that and keep running back and forth. And there is our San Choy Bau. I'm going to pop it into my thermal server because I'm not ready to eat just yet, and that is going to stay perfectly hot until my family and I are ready for dinner. Ooh. And there you go. Like I said, you can use that for dumpling fillings. You could cook up some vermicelli noodles or any kind of like pad thai noodles. That would be delicious with this as well. You can serve it with some cucumbers. I'm going to slice up some cucumbers so we can add some extra greens into this. And I hope everybody has a lovely Monday evening and enjoy your dinner in your house. And for those of you that aren't yet back at school, you've got one more week, and that's it from me. Don't forget to follow my page, The Conscious Jungle, or if you're interested in thermomixes, I do have a group called Thermomixing with The Conscious Jungle. You can find me there posting inspiration, and I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Thanks Mel, thanks Ben, thanks Michelle, thanks Tash, thanks everybody for chatting to me, and I will see you next Monday. Bye everybody.